Hey y'all, today I decided to do something a little bit different. I'm going to be showing you guys how I do my eyebrows and my base makeup routine. First I'm starting off with my brows. This is a Maybelline Brow Ultra Slim Brow Pencil. I actually don't really like how warm toned this one is, but it still does the job. The one I usually use is the L'Oreal pencil. It's just similar to this, just different colors that I prefer better. Usually when it comes to drugstore, all of them are pretty decent. But I'm just going to be filling in my eyebrows just to make sure that there's no little empty gaps or whatnot. And then I'm going to be filling in the front of my eyebrows just with lighter touches, just feathering it in a little bit here. And then I am going to be going in with the spoolie part and just brushing out my brows. Alright, so I'm doing the same exact thing with this other brow. This is my bad brow. For some reason, it doesn't always turn out right, but I just try my best, you know? And then I'm going to be outlining my eyebrows with concealer. Now, you don't have to do this. I like to do it because I've got very sparse, small eyebrows, and I like to make sure they're defined. And I like to clean up sometimes, mainly by the tail and arch area. Sometimes it just makes it look very sharp and clean. I pretty much do this whenever I have like a more dramatic eye look. Sometimes I only do like the tail end. It kind of just depends on my mood. But I'm just going to be outlining my eyebrows with this little brush. It's just a little small flat one. You can use whatever you want as long as it's nice and precise. And then I'm just going to be blending this out after I outline my eyebrows. And right here is my little trick. I like to put the brush sideways, and I like to go in little flicking gentle motions just to break up the front of my eyebrow, make sure there's not too much product in there, and I kind of add a little bit more of the lightness and skin color back into it. Alright, so I'm just checking to see if I missed any spots, just making sure that the hairs are all where I want them to be. And then I'm going to move on to the next brow and fast forward it up a little bit. Alright, so I'm just brushing through my brows again real quickly, make sure everything is how I like it, make sure that none of the concealer is on there, and make sure that the hairs are where I want them to be. And then next, I'm going to be using this Essence Make Me Brow Eyebrow Gel Mascara. I've been using this for years. It's super cheap. It's got little filling fibers in it. So it fills in any gaps that I may have missed. And sometimes with this color being a little bit more blonde and less warm tone, it does help to kind of cool my brows down a little bit. So moving on to my face, I'm starting off with a little bit of a primer serum. This one is from Wet n Wild. I've used many different brands. For the most part, a lot of them are a little bit too drying for me, so I just try to find something that's hydrating and has a little bit of a tackiness to it. Like you can see here, I'm just seeing if it's dry enough. If it's got a little bit of a tackiness and it's hydrating, that's what works for me. So I'm going in with my favorite foundation right now, the L'Oreal Infallible 24-hour wear, and I am just pumping it onto my face, spreading it all out, and I'm going to be using my Real Techniques brush. This is just dampened, and I'm just going to blend everything out. And here in a little bit, you'll see I'll use the side of the sponge just to go around my hairline and make sure that it's blended into there, but without like extra product going into my hair. And of course, one of the most important parts of your foundation is please, please, please bring it down your neck. Make sure it blends down. This shade is very light and close to my skin tone, but either way, I bring it down because I have some redness. And then I'm going to go in with the concealer that goes with the foundation. I got this recently after using Tarte Shape Tape for a long time, and this stuff is pretty much exactly like it, just way cheaper. Alright, so I am just blending out this concealer a little bit with this little tiny sponge going under my eyes and on my eyelids. Today I'm going to be using it as a primer, so that's why I did that. So this is the only face powder that I've been using for years and years, the Coty Airspun powder. I do transfer it into an old e.l.f. container because I hate that packaging. Like the Coty Airspun packaging, it like the lid breaks and I just don't like it. Alright, so I am just setting my under eyes real quick using an e.l.f. brush. For my forehead, I am just using whatever was left on the brush after doing my under eyes. I'm very dry on my forehead, so I try not to put too much. And then also using that brush just to go around my nose and my mouth, any areas that I always miss with this big fluffy brush. Just making sure that my cheeks are the main part and my under eyes are the main part that are nice and powdered, because we're going to be going on top of that with more face products. Alright, so coming up, I'm going to be doing my bronzer, but I just wanted to let you know I'm showing you some options here. I've been trying out some different ones just to find like the perfect undertone for me. I'm still looking, but these are really good options if you are looking for one. So the last one is the one that I'm going to be using today. It's the L'Oreal Infallible. I actually really like it. I think it could be a little bit more cooler toned, but all in all, it blends nicely. It lasts throughout the day, doesn't make my skin look too extra dry. So I like it. I just like everything from L'Oreal, I guess. So yeah, I just added some bronzer onto my cheekbones and a little bit onto my forehead using this really nice fluffy brush. And then I'm going to be going in with some blush from Physicians Formula using this cute little Real Techniques brush. And I'm just going to add this a little bit more on top of like the bronzer area, but still on the apples of the cheek. This blush is very subtle. It just adds in a little bit of pinkness into it. And then this is my all-time favorite highlighter right now. I got it for my wedding and I can't stop using it. I'm pretty sure this was the first product that I ever used from Pure Cosmetics. I absolutely love it. It's subtle, but it's still glowy, but it's not glittery. It's just, it's magical. I love it. And it's like kind of like more of like a champagne kind of color. It's not silver, it's not gold, it's kind of in between. So I am just going to use my favorite little Real Techniques brush. This is my favorite for a highlighter because it's dense and small enough, but it's still nice and fluffy. So I'm just going to put that right on the very, very tops of my cheekbones, right above where I had the bronzer, and kind of blend it into everything. Step back, make sure you're nice and glowing from every angle, and I like to put just a smidge on my nose. And then I'm going to go in with that little brush that we used earlier just to diffuse any lines in case I went a little overboard. I mainly do this under my eyes and on my forehead. Now I'm going to be using some setting spray. I really like this Milani one, the Make It Last. I want to try the dewy one because, you know, I'm dry. I also like the Urban Decay one. And then this ColourPop one, the Pretty Fresh one. I got this whenever I got the foundation and such. It's nice. It's just like the sprayers kind of suck like after a while. But I usually just use a combo of whatever I have. So lastly, after I do my base makeup, I just take off whatever whatever got on my lips. And then I'm going to move on to doing my eyeshadow and lips in another video. If you want to see that, stay tuned. Bye!